Hi guys, I decided to do a video today while I repot my Anthurium Veitchii. This plant has been growing in sphagnum moss for about a year, I think it is, and the roots are growing like crazy. I've noticed that they are growing along the parts of the pot that have support. So what I've noticed is I've had some stagnation in the leaf growth, and I'm thinking maybe it's because this plant is only in sphagnum moss. So I'm going to split the biggest one and then leave, I think there's 5 plants in this one, 4 or 5 plants. I'm going to put the babies back into all sphagnum so I can get the babies to grow as big as the biggest plant. So yeah, I had to speed this up because I didn't want you to see me struggling. The roots were really intermingled in this sphagnum moss, so this is speeded up so you don't get entirely bored and glaze over. It got pretty frustrating, and I tried to do it with minimal loss of the roots, but you know how that goes. So, I mean, sphagnum moss is great for the roots, what I've noticed, but when it comes time to split the plants, it does get to be a pain in the butt. So, yeah, so the reason I'm doing this is separating them because I want bigger leaves on this plant. And I did, later on in the video, I put a picture of what I'm hoping to eventually get to. Don't know if I ever will. I am growing this plant in a grow tent right now, so it gets, I think I've seen it, the humidity in there as high as 95%. So averaging 75 to 95%. So I'm not growing it in a regular home environment, so the results may not be typical because I got really fast growth, which you'll see at the end of the video, from replanting just in a few days. But what I plan to do is once these babies get big, I'm going to try growing one of these and compare it to the growth that I'm getting in the grow tent to see how fast you can get it to grow. So you see, I got a lot of roots there, and I'm going to put it in my soil mix, which I'll have listed on the screen here in a sec. Yeah. So that is what I use for all my anthuriums. And I put the sphagnum moss on the top. Now, I wouldn't recommend putting the sphagnum moss on the top for all philodendrons because I tried that and I started getting yellow leaves on one of the new philodendrons that I bought. So you have to, it may work for some, but not all. But the anthuriums love it, and I've noticed what I'm getting is some roots, some of the roots that come out, and then they grow into different plants, and then you can start propagating and have multiple plants like this. Which I don't know if it would have grown into so many plants if I wouldn't have put it in sphagnum moss at first. And I am putting this into a terracotta pot. So I want as much airflow as possible. It's a loose mix, and it seems to be doing well with it. But you have to make sure that the sphagnum moss stays moist. Sometimes maybe a day or so it's okay, but I go back and check it, and when I feel it's dry, I water it. And if you don't, this guy will get droopy. So that one, so this one will go back into the grow tent for now. And so now I'm going to replant the babies into sphagnum. I got some really good sphagnum moss. I found it in the Lowe's. It was during the toilet paper apocalypse. I was trying to get the last rolls of toilet paper back in March, and they didn't have, by the time I got there, it said 4 were in stock, but no toilet paper. So of course I had to go buy the plants, and then I found some really nice orchid sphagnum moss. And I couldn't walk out of there without buying that. So now I have some high quality sphagnum, and they seem to love it. And the net pots, which I ordered them on Amazon. And I will link them in my description, so if you want to get some net pots. You can also find them in hydroponic stores, which I've bought from there too, but you know, it tends to be, I'll have to compare the price. I live by a lot of hydroponic stores around here, so I'll have to compare the price, see if it's better. So now this guy will go back into the grow tent, and now you will see the day after. Here he is in where he stays for now. He is doing really well here. You see that little leaf? Well, you'll see coming up here in a second what happens with that little new leaf that was growing in this. So now May 26th, that little leaf is gone and it is a big leaf. Here's the babies. They're growing well. I think their roots are growing more than a leaf size. But there's that little leaf that was growing. It turned into a big leaf. So it's really starting to get that Veitchii look that everybody sees in the pictures, and I'm excited about that. And so I think it was yesterday I went into the grow tent to check on this guy, and it doesn't look like there's much difference here, June 14th, but the leaf is starting to get thinner and longer, you can see. And the baby's leaves are starting to get bigger. And then that leaf there on the bottom is getting bigger also. So I think the soil is doing great things for this plant, and I have not fertilized this plant yet. So hopefully I'll get more growth if I fertilize. And here's the picture that started it all. I saw this picture on Reddit, and there is a girl on there. She bought this Veitchii out of a greenhouse, and I saw this picture and I was like, that is how I want my Veitchii to grow. I don't know if mine will ever look like that, but that is what I'm hoping for. So thank you for watching. Please come back and subscribe if you want to see more.